It's time for the rear speakers. I have a 5mm Allen screwdriver. Remove the 4 screws. Remove the 4" and the 3.5. This is a T20. It's a rubber grommet that it crossed to the 3.5. Just unplug it and bring it to the other side. And the reason why is because we're going to cut this and we don't want to damage any wiring. Next, remove the 4 screws holding the port. These ones are T30. And the reason why you have to remove it is because it's easier when you're going to cut it for your template.
For the overhead speaker bar, we are going to be using these set of brackets here. We keep saying Jeep, and what we really mean is Wrangler. However, these will also work for the Gladiator. The part number on these are the JP1015s, and they are the overhead speaker adapters. Let's open it up and take a look at them. The first thing you'll find is the instruction manual. It's in color. Tells you all the things you need to know about how to install these. Now it does show you to remove it, and some of you guys are going to want to remove it, but you really don't have to if you're careful, and we'll tell you what we mean by that once we get into the car and show you how to do it. Speaker bracket adapters. There's 3 bags of screws. 2 of them are coarse screws, and you'll find a short and a long, and then one of them is fine thread. The 2 brackets, there's a right and a left. If you flip it over, you'll see this area here. If you want to do a set of components back there, you can, and it gives you the center location for your hole saw in order to make a tweeter mount in this area. They are countersunk a bit, and that Rockford grill fits in there really nice. You can see it kind of flushes up inside of it, and there are tons of holes located on here for different screws, so make sure you pick the right bag of screws in the instructions to put in the right location. It comes in bubble wrap to prevent any scratches. There's a piece of polyfill underneath it, and then there are 2 metal brackets. Now on one side of the metal bracket there is foam. This is the side that is going to go up into the pod, and the other side it's just powder coating. Tons of holes located on here. There again, lots of screws to do this. One of the things that you should know about this is not going to just go in and everything is going to be fine and dandy. You do have to do cutting. You are going to have to remove a good portion of the area where that 4 and the 3 are to make this work. That means this will never go back to factory. That's something to keep in mind when deciding to do this type of install. This will never go back. There is a right and left and another piece of batting, as it were, for this. These are going to go up inside, you know, when you're done. It also acts really nice as a safety blanket to keep the 2 pieces separated. Let's take a look at the speakers that are going to go inside of this. These are the Rockford Fosgate Power T1650s coaxials. Instruction manual. This is a big boy speaker. As you can see, big magnet, just heavy grill. It has the bridge tweeter. They make 2 versions of this speaker. This is the 6.5. They also make a 6-inch version where there's a tweeter mounted into the center. Both of them will fit into the Jeep. The grill for this is specific to this because of the bridge for the tweeter here. It doesn't poke through. One of the nice things about this is sand and dirt and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about it getting up behind here. It has 150 watt power handling. It has the same exact cone as the T2. Butyl rubber surround. It just has this mounting structure, which is a little bit different than the other Rockfords. It makes it a little bit easier to mount into locations. Tweeter wise, has that same metal tweeter that comes with the T2, so it matches up really well. It's a really awesome dynamic speaker. They pair together really nice, and that's why we like to do these in the Jeeps. Now that we've taken a look at all these parts, let's join Fernando in the Jeep, and he can show us how we get it prepped and ready to put our Metra brackets up inside of it.
Grab your metal template. They give you the base, 4 screws on the outside. Just hold it. I use a Sharpie with an ultra fine point so I can get into the small holes. And now we're gonna start tracing where are we going to cut. We only going to cut the 6.5 because that's what we put it on. For this one, we're gonna use the rotosip. You have to be careful on the front of the car in this part right here because it goes close. You don't want to poke a hole. So I like to start in the back. This is the part that you have to be careful. I like to go sometimes 2 times because it's plastic, and when you cut in something, sometimes it melts together. Just be careful. This is the part that you cut into. Now you have to be careful, like I say. I'm gonna show you right here. Why? Because this part right here, if you see, but you don't have to go deep into it because this one goes to the outside. Now we can drill our holes to mount our bracket. Sometimes I like to grab the instruction manual just to have a reference where gonna be my holes for the screws. And for the holes, I like to use a 3/32 drill bit. Like I say, in this one, be careful on this side. For mounting the bracket, we're gonna have the short coarse head screws. Now it's time for the cover. Grab your T20. And using the 4 factory screw holes, it's 2 more on the side. The 3rd bag of screws is to mount the speaker, but we have to test fit it first. Yeah, perfect. So the speaker fits. The wire I need to hook it up my new speaker, it's the one of the 4-inch, and I grab the second one and put some zip ties so it doesn't rattle. Plug in the harness. Make sure it's all the way back. Rockford actually provide us with the hex screws that looks more like a factory, so I'm going to use those. The only downside on the plug is they give you just a regular positive and negative. Rockford, it's a different size on the negative, so I'm just gonna change the speaker terminals for that. The different size is only on the negative. Now that my speaker is connected, I'm going to use the polyfill the Metra give us. Kind of cover the plug so when it's inside it doesn't rattle. The first screws that you have to put, either the top or the bottom, left or right. I like to start with one of those. And the reason why is because the corners are gonna hold the grill. So top, bottom, grab our grill. Now don't press it, just hold it. And that's it. We have our rear speaker mounted, hex screws on the speaker side, same on the outside. To the next one.